Hey everyone, welcome to Transient. I'm Eitan Reiter, and today we're going to recreate a classic pop song by Britney Spears called Slave for You. It's got some really weird, interesting synth sounds, which I just had to get into, and going to go over the synth sounds, a few guitar lines, the beat itself, some more synth sounds and how they were made, and towards the end of the video some special effects like this scratch sound. This is a really nice production, so let's start. Here's the kick drum pattern. This bass drum was reproduced out of 3 layers. The first 2 are there to give it that acoustic feeling, and the third is the main kick drum. To tune this kick so it sounds like the original, I've had to find the fundamental, but also use the pitch envelope to have it start from a higher point. Try using a sampler's pitch envelope to add punch to sounds. And once you get the amount right, you can play with the decay and shape the sound however you want. The bassline is a simple one note played by a sine wave oscillator, going through some distortion. Using distortions can be a great way to enhance the sound's frequency range, especially when dealing with thin sounds like a sine wave. And on top of that, I've used the capitator to add even a bit more distortion. Next up are the drums. The track has got 2 different tom drums. This is the first one, and here's the second one, which is made out of 2 layers. This is the first layer, and here's the second one to add some inharmonic frequencies, which provide the sound with a more acoustic character. They're being played at a very low volume. And to give it some more of that inharmonic character, I've also used a ring modulator. I've used another distortion to reduce the drum's volume peak. Notice that when I turn it off, it's going to play at a higher volume. Distortion can be used to reduce volume peaks and gain more headroom. Using distortions can provide presence to a sound, and by that allowing it to be played at a lower volume and still be noticed. This technique can come in handy when you're looking for more headroom. Here's the track's clap, made out of these 2 layers, a hi-hat, a second hi-hat, tuned in the right pitch. The timing of the hats and the claps is slightly shifted, allowing them not to play together exactly at the same time, which usually provides a more natural feeling, and in some ways sounds a bit more interesting too. There's also this shaker sound and this second shaker sound. If I had to guess, I'd say that this beat was recorded live because this specific sound is not playing any repetitive pattern. Next up is this synth sound. Here you can check out the MIDI notes, and this sound was also reproduced using 2 layers. The first one is this silent one. It was missing some high frequencies, so I've used this vocoder to provide it with some extra noise. And on top of that, I've used a phaser to provide the sound with some more movement. Here's the second layer made out of Ableton plugins, and you can of course check out the full preset if you download the project. I've used this non-modulating flanger to give the sound a hollow feeling. And now for some more abstract sounds. I actually noticed a lot of these pitch-based sounds on many of Pharrell's and the Neptune's productions, and I think these sounds really grab attention. This one, for example, is made out of 2 pitch sine waves, each one of them playing a different note, and both of them going through the same pitch envelope. Here's another pitch envelope based sound. For this one I've actually used a square wave. Both of the notes are playing almost the same sound, only with slight differences in their pitch envelope. To give this sound its character or color, I've used distortion again. Experiment with your plugins. Try some extreme settings and balance them with a very low mix amount. It can be super helpful if you test every parameter and take it to its edges. Sometimes you can also end up with something that's very extreme and then use the mix knob to blend it with the original sound in a natural sounding way. And here's the final synth sound. This one is actually used to enhance what we've done so far. These 3 sounds, as similar as they may seem, are different in many parameters. That's why not only do they work together, every time another one of them is being added to the mix, the whole beat seems to shift 1 gear higher. track has also got some interesting mutes here and there that create a nice rhythmic effect. And here is the guitar line. I really have no idea what they've done in the original. If I had to guess, it was probably a recording that later on was edited on the grid. In this case, I've used the plugin. On top of that, I've done some equalizing, used an amplifier, a cabinet, phaser, another phaser, some chorus, another EQ, a compressor, another EQ, one more EQ, and another EQ, and another EQ, and another chorus effect. This is definitely not a textbook ideal workflow, but then again, recreating is not exactly mixing. Here's the second and more uplifting guitar line, which is supported by this synth sound, which is playing a second layer of the melody. Here you can check out the preset, which is based on a multi-voice sawtooth detuned oscillator, going through a bandpass filter. Then some phaser is used, and a vocoder to add some noise to enhance the sound's high frequency. And now for this scratch sound, I've actually used the same technique. The first thing I've done was try to find a scratch sample that's got the similar rhythm as the original. And then I've used the same technique we've been using throughout this tutorial of using a vocoder to add noise, only this time 100%. When a sound is playing by itself, however small or insignificant it may seem, it still is very exposed, and that's why it's good to take the time to perfect these type of sounds. In this case, it was the fade in itself and the distortion that gave the sound its character. Quick reminder, the project file and the sounds are available for free in the link below. For more videos like this one, subscribe to our channel. If there's any song you'd like us to remake or a technique you'd like to learn, please let us know in the comment section below. See you next time.